In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form, an empty void, and darkness was upon the face of the very deep. And the Spirit of God was brooding over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. The light he called day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, to separate the water from the water." So God made the great expanse, and separated the waters which were beneath the expanse from the waters which were above it. And God saw that it was good. And God called the name of the expanse sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. Then God said, "Let the waters which are beneath the expanse," was a booming one. Then God said, "Let the waters which are beneath the expanse be gathered into one place, and let the dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the name of the accumulated waters seas, and the dry ground he called land. And God saw that it was good. And then God said, "Let the land bring forth vegetation, seed-bearing plants according to their various kinds, and trees on the ground with fruit in it, with seed according to its various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, seed-bearing plants, each according to its various kinds, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it according to their various kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. Then God said, "Let lights appear in the heavens, and let them mark the seasons, days, and years, and separate the light from the darkness and the day from the night." And it was so. God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And he set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth, to separate the light from the darkness, and to mark the seasons, days, and years. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters which are beneath the expanse teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the expanse of the sky." And it was so. God made the great sea monsters, and every living and moving thing which moves in the water, and all the winged birds, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, and said, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters that are in the seas, and let the birds fill the earth." And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the land bring forth living creatures, livestock and wild animals, and every living thing that creeps upon the earth, each according to its kind." And it was so. God created the livestock and the creeping creatures, and every living thing that creeps upon the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in the image and likeness of God." And so God made man. In the image and likeness of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them, and he said, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it." And fill the earth and subdue it. And subdue that. And rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living thing which creeps along the ground. And God looked at all he had done and created, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. This is the account of the heavens and the earth in the day the Lord God made the earth and heaven. In the day the Lord God made heaven and earth, he took the man and formed him out of the dust of the ground. And he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. And the Lord God had made in the east a garden in Eden, and there he caused out of the ground to grow every tree which is pleasing to the eye and good for food. And there he placed the man that he had made. And he also caused to grow in the center of the garden the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the Lord placed the man in the garden there. And he commanded him, saying, "From any tree in the garden you may eat, but from the tree which is in the center of the garden you shall not eat, for the day you eat of its fruit you will surely die." And then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." So the Lord God created all the beasts of the field and the birds of the air, and he brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And so the man named the birds of the air, the beasts of the field, and whatever he called them, that was their name. But for Adam, the suitable helper was not found. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And as he slept, he removed a part of his side and sealed the place up with flesh. And he took the part of his side that he had removed, and he made and built up a woman. And he brought her to the man. And Adam said, This creature is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Oh, she shall be called woman, for she was taken from the man. And for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will be one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. Now the serpent was the most clever and crafty of all of the creatures the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, "Did God really say that you may not eat from all the trees in the garden?" And the woman answered the serpent, saying, "Oh, no, God said we can eat from any of the trees in the garden. But from the tree which is in the center of the garden, he said, we shall not eat from it, or even touch it, or we will die." And the serpent said to the woman, "You will not die. For God knows that the day you eat of its fruit, your eyes will be opened, and you will become like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw the tree was good for food, and pleasing to the eye, and desirable to make one wise, she took from its fruit, and she ate. She gave also to her husband who was with her, and he ate. And then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they saw that they were naked. They quickly sewed together fig leaves to make coverings for themselves, but then, they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. So they hid behind the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called out to them and said, "Where are you?" And the man answered, saying, "We heard you coming in the garden, and I was ashamed because I was naked, so I hid." And the Lord said to him, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it?" And Adam answered God, saying, "The woman who you gave to be with me, she gave to me from the tree, and I ate." So God said to the woman, "What is this you've done?" And Eve answered him and said, "The serpent, he deceived me, and I ate." And so the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you will crawl, and dust you shall eat all of your days. I have declared war between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." And to the woman he said, "I will greatly increase your pain in childbearing. With pain you will bring forth children, and your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you." And to Adam He said, because you have listened to your wife and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. By the toil of your brow you will eat of the ground all the days of your life, until you return to the ground from which you came. For you are dust, and to dust you will return. Adam called the name of his wife Eve, for she would be the mother of all the living. And the Lord God made garments of skin for the man and his wife and dressed them. And then the Lord God said, man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not therefore be allowed to reach out and take from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So the Lord God banished the man and his wife from the garden. And after he drove them out, he placed in the east side of the garden a cherubim and a flaming sword that flashed back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. Listen to me, my people, you who pursue righteousness and who seek the Lord.